Welcome to Match Report as we look back at Manchester City 0, Crystal Palace 2. Yeah, not great. 30th of October 2021, a 3 p.m. kickoff. Plenty of tricks, but not a lot of treats for us in this one, was there? Not a lot of treats at all. Certainly not from the referee, although I don't know. Sometimes he wasn't given a lot of option, was he, with the way we played the game? But there you go. Let's talk about it briefly as we can. Obviously, the City lineup, I got 10 right, which is fair enough. The only difference was I did try and risk Gundogan in there as opposed to Jesus, so it didn't bother me. I was quite happy with Jesus being in there. So it was Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodri, KDB, Bernardo, Grealish, Foden, and Jesus. And the Palace lineup, yeah, I got 9 out of 11. That was all right, actually. Yeah, I nearly put Edouard in, but obviously I put Benteke, and I thought they might risk Benteke with him being on form. There you go. But so, yeah, and the other one was obviously, I didn't get Kuyati, is he, in midfield, but their team, Guaita, he wasted a bit of time, didn't he? But there you go. Was it last week when I did a Brighton game once? Ederson got booked when he wasted time once. This guy must have wasted time 20 times, and it was literally in the final couple of minutes when he finally got booked. But hey, there you go. Different rules, different referees, obviously. Guaita, Ward, Anderson, Guay, Mitchell, Gallagher, McCarthy, Koyate, Ayew, Zaha, and Edouard. Of course, as I said, Andrew Murray was in charge. Not great. No, not great. But I say, when you look at the sending off, and what's he going to do? I mean, I've seen them giving us a yellow card. I've probably seen him giving us a red card. I mean, he just did what you expect an idiot like Manning to do. So there you go. Adrian Holmes and Scott Ledger were his linos. Fourth official was Anthony Taylor. And on VAR, of course, you had Mr. Lee Mason. I'm sure he made sure those lines, that the ball had moved a little bit further before he drew them lines. But hey, that's part of the course, isn't it? Assistant VAR was Ian Hoosin. Match report, yeah, a game where, let's face it, we thought we needed an early breakthrough, didn't we, as far as City were concerned, but it turned into an early Palace breakthrough after only 6 minutes. And to be honest with you, no matter what we attempted, I mean, if you look at the highlights, we'll get into the stats in a minute. The Palace keeper was very rarely tested, obviously. It was either when we did get chances, which were few and far between in that first half, even with 11 men on the pitch, they were usually at him or over the bar. Obviously, after the break, we huffed and puffed, of course, with 10 men after Laporte had wrestled Zaha to the turf. As I said, I don't think Mariner, it could have been 50-50, I thought. It could have been either way, but Laporte didn't cover himself in glory, but we'll talk about the first goal in a minute. But so that second half with 10 men, yeah, we were better. Pep tweaked it a little bit. He tweaked the team a little bit around, didn't he? But to be honest with you, I don't remember a Pep team winning with 10 men. I know we've had certainly a couple I can think of where we literally went 2-0 up in games with 10 men, and then we still lost 3-2. So I don't remember a Pep. I do remember Mancini and Pellegrini teams winning with 10 men, but I don't remember. I mean, you might. Don't let me know anyway if you remember a Pep team winning with 10 men. I certainly don't. So I was a bit despondent as soon as we went down to 10 men. I just didn't think we would get back in it. But yeah, it's a bit of a mountain to climb against a Palace who cope with 11 well enough. So obviously they were going to cope with 10, and obviously they got the chances on the break as well, didn't they? So it's going to be even more problems for us if they did manage to have a break. But it was more or less one-way track, I think, most of that second half, wasn't it? Jesus scored a great poacher's goal, of course, fantastic, only for it to be ruled offside. I think Foden, again, looking at the lines, yeah, he might have been offside. It's very close, isn't it? But I thought they'd changed it a little bit this year. If it was close, it went to the benefit of the attacker, but obviously not. Very few clear-cut chances, again, from City, but any were blasted over or straight at the keeper. Again, I think the main culprit in the second half was Cancelo, I think. I think he had at least 2 or 3 that he just blasted over the top. Just not good enough. The goals, yeah, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Zaha, Laporte, I don't know, he's trying to pass it somewhere, wasn't he? But he just didn't get anywhere, did it? And obviously, Zaha worked in line with Gallagher. I mean, there's still a lot to do. There's still a lot to score that goal, but obviously it was left with Rodri, I think, defending against Zaha. So there's a mismatch if ever I've seen one. And it wasn't the greatest shot, but perhaps Edison was a little bit wrong-footed. I'm not too sure. Perhaps the shot came quicker than he expected, but yeah, it could have perhaps done better. But it wasn't great, was it? It trundled, didn't it? More or less trundled and bobbled into that inside the far post. That was 56 minutes in the first half, and of course the second goal came on 88 minutes with the game lost anyway. We wouldn't even look as though we were going to equalise at that stage. And Gallagher, of course, rubbed salt in the wounds by scoring in off the post. That was quite good of him to do that. So wasn't great. Key stats, yeah, as I said, 14 shots for City with 3 on target. 14 shots. Not great. That's the sort of shows how Palace sort of swamped that defence and kept us at bay, to be honest with you. Palace, 8 shots, 3 on target. I mean, for the away team, that's not too bad, is it? 68% possession for City, only 32 for Palace. Passing, 71% Palace. Pass completion, that was pretty poor. They weren't a great Palace team, this lot. They're okay, they're organised, but they weren't great. And ours was only 85%, which is well down. Usually we're up about 89, 90, 91%. So says it all, really, doesn't it? Let's get on to the player ratings. We've got Stuart Brennan doing the Manchester Evening News. I'll have my little comments. As I say, I've not had a chance to rewatch the game. I'm just based it on what I saw from my view in the stadium. My starting score is going to be 6, and I'll tell you now, not a single player got more than 6 for me. I'll just give a standard 6 to everyone. I might have been tempted to for a couple, but I thought, no, I'm just going to give a maximum of 6 today for all the City players. And if they played worse than that, we'll get less than that. And there's 2 or 3, definitely 2 or 3. Yeah, let's have a look at Edison. Stuart said, look, slow to go down for Zaha's shot. He did, and added unnecessary pressure with a yellow card. Yeah, I think I was all whinging with this sending off, wasn't it, I think? Stuart's given him a 5, yeah. I nearly give him a 5.5, but I'll have to give him a 5 because I've sort of looked at it and there was a chance for Palace in that second half where he came sort of come for a cross, and unfortunately the Palace guy just headed over. He was in no man's land, so it wasn't his greatest performance. He couldn't set up any attacks the way we played it. He couldn't obviously find any long range passes from defence to sort of find any runners. I mean, we just didn't seem able or willing to do that. And I think the way Palace played obviously stymied that tactic. So, yeah, Edison, not very good really. I'll give him a 5. Stuart, give him a 5. Kyle Walker, important deal with Palace's counters in the back 3, but he suffered from general City malaise. He's given a 6. I give him a 6. I was looking at the goals. He wasn't particularly at fault for either of the goals. He was sort of in and around there, but you couldn't blame him particularly. But he was pretty useless going forward. But he's, defensive wise, he was okay. So I will give him a 6. I nearly give him less, but I will give him a 6. Ruben Diaz won his duels and dug in hard when it was needed, says Stuart. Stark contrast to his defensive part. He certainly was. So Stuart's given him a 7. Yeah, I thought he was all right. He just couldn't make up for his partner, could he? He was okay. But again, not outstanding, so I'm just going to give him the basic 6. Again, they say he can't be asked to play for Laporte, can he? But yeah, he was part of a defence that looked a bit iffy, and certainly for the second goal, he was well in there for that. So he didn't do anything to stop it. By there you go. I'll give him a 6 anyway. Emerick Laporte, he got the Blues off to a stinker, says Stuart, with a sloppy pass. He did that, gifted Zaha the goal, and then earned a red card. So Stuart's given him a 3. Yeah, I've just knocked a point off for the mistake for the first goal, and I've knocked a point off for the sending off. I could probably knock a point off for being rubbish as well, just generally. But I'll give him a 4. I'll give him a 4 out of 10. I'm not going to go down to 3 like Stuart. But thankfully we've got John Stones, haven't we? So that helps a little bit, soften the blow just a little bit. João Cancelo couldn't hit a pass straight first half. He certainly couldn't. Improved as right wing back in the second half. Stuart's given him a 5. Yeah, I give him a 4.5. I thought it was dreadful. I think if there's any chance of Juventus can swap us back for Danilo, perhaps. I mean, there's a bit of trouble with that, isn't there? I've seen. Perhaps if we can swap him back now, get Danilo back and send Cancelo back to Juventus. But I thought it was dreadful. It was a dreadful performance from Cancelo. Nothing went right. He blasted over. His passes were too long or just didn't hit the target. I mean, this guy was being considered for the Ballon d'Or a few games ago, wasn't it? He wasn't. But you know what I mean? He was a will beater. Probably a handful of games ago, but he just struggled, and I think he could have done better. I mean, he can't accept responsibility for the whole team, but he did contribute today in a very poor way. There's very little he did right, to be honest with you. So Stuart gave him a 5, I give him a 4.5, so I give him less than Stuart, which is quite rare. Well, I've done on this guy as well. Rodri, solid and good, said Stuart, in his distribution, but the spark of invention was missing from his game. So I give him a 6, I've just given him a 5.5. I mean, he couldn't do anything. I said it was a mismatch with Zaha's goal. He just didn't have a clue about defending that, did he? He sort of got a little bit. Zaha's a good player, let's be honest about it. But yeah, I just thought it was a bit laborious. I just thought, again, within the constraints of too many players not having great games, he wasn't anything special. So I'm going to knock half a mark off because I just thought he didn't really contribute anything at all to the game. He was, for everything he did okay, he did something slightly wrong as well. So Mr. Spark, Mr. Rodri. So I'll give him a 5.5, soon give him a 6. KDB, here we go, never hit, says Stuart. Continually tried to get his mojo going. He certainly did, but still degrees away from his usual stance. He's given a 6. I thought it was awful again. I've given him a 5. I'm not only not to point off, but dreadful. I mean, I saw one or two things that did come off, but I mean, half the time it looks as though his passes are more in hope than looking for someone. All right, perhaps we haven't got the players making those runs at the moment that need that. I think that's where we're sadly lacking. There's no sort of real pace to sort of getting behind for KDB's passes, but generally he was pretty awful again. And I'm sure he wasn't injured. I'm sure just Pep hooked him, and we did look a little bit better once he went off, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm only going to give him a 5. I thought he was very, very poor again. Bernardo Silva never stopped competing or trying to spark something. He didn't, but the magic was lacking. So he's given a 6, Stuart. Yeah, I give him a 6. Industrious, perhaps, but perhaps we need that industry a little bit nearer goal. I'm not too sure, but he did work hard. He was probably our best player, but I'm not going to go, as I said, I'm not going to score anyone higher than 6 because I thought overall the team performance was okay. Just bog standard for the fact we had 10 men for most of it. But again, even with 11 men, we didn't look great. So I'll give him a 6 anyway, and same as Stuart. So that's all I can do. Jesus Gabby looked like he had level with a 5 finish, ruled out for Foden's offside, showed no lack of efforts. Yeah, so Stuart's given him a 6. Again, I've given him a 6. Unlucky with the goal. I mean, he would have probably got a 7 if that had counted, or it might have been a different ball game if that counted. But at least he kept going. We know that from Jesus, don't we? At least say he wasn't having the best of games, but he was there to score the goals. Unfortunately, it was ruled out. Phil Foden, anonymous first half, but burst into life after the break to give City plenty of hope. Unlucky offside calls. So Stuart gave him a 7. Yeah, he was anonymous second half, but everyone, City were a bit better that second half, again, without creating too much, say we huffed and puffed. But I didn't. Overall, I didn't, as I say, apart from that offside. And he was offside just, if you believe the lines. So, yeah, I'm just going to give him a 6. I didn't think he did enough apart from that. I say he's sort of, we want him to sort of stand out in these games, and sort of players like himself and KBD and the rest, we need to step up a little bit, and he just didn't for me. Jack Grealish did more than most to try and dredge something out of the game. Plenty of threats. So Stuart's given him a 7. I think Stuart's been very kind with the points today, to be honest with you. I think so. Yeah, I wouldn't give him a 7. I've given him a 6. A lot of 6s today, of course, but plenty of effort from Grealish. But just that little bit missing. He did keep the ball well. He did lost it a couple of occasions, but we just couldn't cope with the sort of blanket Palace defence. We just didn't have the nous to get through it. And obviously Grealish is one of these guys we rely on to have a bit of nous, don't we, to get through it. He just didn't have it. The subs, no, he's Marc, John Stones, Stuart Brennan. Yeah, I give Grealish a 6. For De Bruyne on 59, he sort of shored up the defence, but he's given him a 7. I've not marked John Stones. I've not given him a mark. No, I've not given him a mark. Stuart's given him a 7. I say I would normally mark him, but again, it was, it's just no point. I just thought we sort of just give up at the end. I just thought we'd give up the last 15, 20 minutes. I thought it was going to be back to the wall for Palace, but hey, with 10 men, what can you do? But John Stones played all right, but I didn't give him a mark. Riyad Mahrez, Cancelo, 77 minutes, no time to mark. Fair enough. Raheem Sterling for Grealish, no time to mark. Yeah, fortunate for Raheem Sterling, I'd say. I'm not going to give a man a match today, as you can appreciate. I just don't think so. I mean, if he's twisted my arm, I would probably say Bernardo, but I don't think any really deserve a man of the match. So our overall record with Palace now reads: played 30 at home against them, won 16, drawn 7 and lost 7. 57 scored, 29 let in. Palace, yeah, opponents going forward. Yeah, I mean, that's only their second win of the season. Obviously, that says a lot, doesn't it? Drawn a lot, and you can probably see why they have drawn a lot. They were certainly good enough to beat us. Did they deserve to win today? Possibly yes, because they did what they had to do. I mean, it reminded me of the game, about 3 or 4 seasons ago when they beat us, where yeah, we huffed and puffed, but on the break we know they're dangerous, and obviously that's their strength, and they played to it and they won it, and they did deserve it, thoroughly deserved the win. All credit to Vieira, but they are well organised. I wouldn't say they were great to watch. I won't talk about the fans. I thought the fans were absolutely. I always think the Palace fans are rubbish at our ground anyway. And they only livened up when they scored the second goal. You're beating the champions 1-0. We're down to 10 men. You didn't hear a peep out of them for the most of that second half until they scored that second goal. They're shocking. They've got a good reputation, but they're very poor away fans for me. One of the worst that come to the Etihad, unfortunately. But anyway, that's not them, is it? Palace, yeah, I think they'll be all right. As I say, they say that's probably moved them up a couple of places, that win. I think Vieira's doing okay. I think he'll improve them. I think they'll just improve and improve, because they do have some good players, and they are playing as they certainly played as a team today and thoroughly deserved the win. So well done to Vieira for that. City, yeah, we've got the game with Brugge. So we can get over this quite quickly, can't we, by stuffing them? But as I'm recording this, United are slamming Tottenham, so that puts them on the same points as us. Slightly worse goal difference, I think. So we're still above them, but hey, we're going to have to do a lot better at Old Trafford next week. We're going to get nothing unless we start taking our chances, and that's the problem. And we don't City. You only look at the Chelsea and Liverpool games. We were superb, brilliant, fantastic. We were good in the PSG game, but we couldn't finish our chances. But since the international break, we're not to say we beat Brighton 4-1, but we were dreadful for almost half of that game. We were quite lucky that we got away with a win, well, a comfortable win in the end. But this is the worst United team as a team. They've got a lot of good individuals for a long time, but. All right, they beat Tottenham. They look as though they're beating Tottenham anyway. I don't think there's long left as I'm watching, as I'm doing this. But yeah, it's just has to be done, doesn't it? I mean, we've just got to improve. I say we do get, at least we've got Brugge to play, and I think United are playing at Atalanta, aren't they? So they'll have that to play. So we'll perhaps get a little bit more time because they'll be travelling. We won't, but. Yeah, confidence. We need a bit of confidence. There's too many. You look at KDB's body language; it isn't great, to be honest with you, at the moment. And he's our key player, isn't he? He's going to get dragged off like he was today. As I said, hopefully it's not an injury. It is a bit of a worry. Say Bernardo's playing superb, but he's not perhaps playing in positions where he's causing enough damage for us by playing well as well. So, but that's what Pep's asking him to do. He's like a carrier, isn't he? The carrier sort of carrying the ball from one place to another rather than committing him up front and causing chaos for the defence as such. He's just being a bit of a ball carrier. So it'll be interesting, obviously, going forward. As I say, beat Brugge, and we do have to get a result at Old Trafford, don't we? Let's be honest about it. But obviously that's dented our confidence just a little bit as fans. But I'm sure we'll be all right. I'm sure we'll turn in a good performance, and we need these chances to go in. This is the problem at the moment. Certainly since the international break, all right, Brighton was okay, but obviously there's a couple of games now where we create West Ham, and this game where West Ham, we created loads of chances, didn't put any in. The goalkeeper played okay, but he wasn't really tested that much. And today the goalkeeper, I don't remember the goalkeeper being really tested. He had a couple of shots straight at him, but apart from that, we've got to put stuff on target, as I've always said. And we just didn't do it today. So it is a bit of a worry, but hey, onwards and upwards. And good win against Brugge, and then play our best 11 against United. I'm sure we'll go there. We've got a good record there, haven't we? So I'm sure we'll turn things around and all look a lot brighter this time next week. Anyway, fingers crossed. Anyway, please join me this week, because I look forward, of course, to that Brugge game. There's no History Boys this week. I did History Boys before the away game, but obviously there's no real point of trying to put one together. I could do another little thing about Brugge, but no History Boys. So there'll just be the odd show and, of course, the preview show. So keep your eyes peeled for them. Push that notification. Give us a thumbs up if you can as well. So please join me for that preview and the odd show on the Brugge game. And obviously we'll have the review. Is it Wednesday? So it'll be sometime on Thursday, because obviously it's going to be a late night and I'm in work, so I won't be getting much sleep. So probably about Thursday lunchtime I'll have a match report on the Brugge game, of course. So please join me for that. Anyway, sorry about that today, guys. Obviously not the greatest pre-day Halloween, is it? It's not Halloween yet, is it? It's tomorrow, isn't it? But not the greatest, was it, for us? But hey, we move on. We carry on, don't we? These things happen. Liverpool drew, so that would have been nice for us to get a victory and go above them. But I say Chelsea won, so they're 5 points clear now, I think, as it stands. And as I say, we're still in third, I think, but I think United has snuck in behind us now, I think, on goal difference, although I'm not too sure. Is it West Ham have got a similar thing, haven't they? So anyway, we'll see. Onwards and upwards, guys. Hey, worse things happen at sea, or worse things happen on the pitch as well, don't they, unfortunately? But there you go. Let me know what you think, anyway. Let me know what you thought of the game, and give us your player ratings just quickly if you can. That'd be great to see those as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. What we're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More important, let's all look after each other as we meet here again on the Citizen channel, or perhaps have a look at my film and TV channel if you get a chance to try and inform and entertain on there. Until we do meet again, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.